Hey Sid, I have a query regarding IPOs.
Fire away, my friend.
I have applied for 3 IPOs in the last 2 months, but I haven't been allotted even a single lot. I'm confused why this is happening.
Well, there's nothing to be confused about. It's simply a matter of rules regarding allocation. To understand the rationale behind the allotment of shares, it's necessary to look at the guidelines issued by SEBI. First of all, every application for shares is segregated into any one of the following 3 categories: qualified institutional buyers, non-institutional investors, and retail individual investors.
Alright, looks like I fall into the 3rd category, retail individual investor.
Yeah, the rules for allocation differ for each category. Retail investors can apply for Rs 2 lakh per IPO. The demand in this category is determined by the total number of applications received. If the total demand for shares is less than or equal to the allocated portion, then it's possible for investors to obtain full allotment of shares.
Forget full allotment. I have never even received a single lot.
Well, that only means one thing. The total demand is much greater than the allocated number of shares. In an ideal scenario, the security is set at a price at which all the shares can be allotted to investors. However, this rarely happens in the real world, as there is either a shortage or surplus of shares. An excess demand for shares in an IPO is known as oversubscription. Typically, it's expressed in terms of a multiple. For instance, you might have heard on the TV that ABC has been oversubscribed 2 times during an IPO. This means that the demand for shares of ABC is double the number of shares available for issue. On the other hand, it can happen that the total demand is much lower than the number of shares available. This is known as undersubscription. For example, consider a situation where the total number of shares allotted for the retail segment is worth Rs 20 lakh and the minimum lot size is worth Rs 10,000. Then, according to SEBI guidelines, only 200 investors will be allotted the shares. Due to this, the maximum number of investors who get the allotted shares is limited.
And how are the investors selected?
The investors are determined by a draw of lots. The entire process is entirely computerized. Due to this, it's completely random. No investor gets any preferential treatment.
That makes sense. I guess I'm just not that lucky.
Cheer up, bro. Who knows? One of these days you might get allotted a lot of shares in a very good company.